Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, a rising VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be working a little bit on song making, but first I wanted to do a little bit of a quick sketch to warm up. Mainly because it's been a little while since we did our last, what do you call? So we had our last tussle with music making. It's been a little while, so I kind of wanted to get back into the groove of things by doing something completely different. So earlier today, somebody was like, we should make art of V doing from this frame of Frieren. I'm gonna say Frieren because that's kind of how I imagine it's pronounced, but with V instead. That's gonna be what we're doing today as our warm up. So this will be interesting. This will be interesting because first of all, this burger is weird, right? Like I can't be the only one who's noticing that. Like this burger is very odd in terms of its construction. Like no bun. Well, no, it's the opposite problem actually. It's all bun. There's like obviously lettuce in there, something green, but you know, it's like Yankee with no brim. But yeah, we're just gonna do a quick redraw of this one, just to ease us into the stream tonight. I haven't watched Frieren, but I respect it on a fundamental level. I don't know, there's just something about stories that are to some extent about grief that really just, I don't know, speak to me isn't the right word. I don't have a whole lot of things to grieve about. But I don't know, I find them very, very touching. And you know, it's not all about grief. I think from what I've seen in Frieren, it's about a variety of other things. But I do like that, you know, it does hit those notes for me. God, the thought of eating a burger raw handing a burger like this with fingerless gloves is kind of sickening to me, if I may be honest. I don't know. Maybe it's more comfortable than it looks. For me, I have a thing about, like, sauces, right? I don't like the feeling of, like, sauce going down my hands or something like that. Or that kind of sensation, really. And I especially don't like the idea of it getting on my clothes. So that's like a big factor of, like, why this situation is perhaps not very appealing to me. I don't know, perhaps there's some kind of animalistic pleasure in it that I haven't considered. I heard this story about two people who have this regular ritual with each other, where they buy a whole Costco rotisserie chicken, and they get a tarp, because you will need a tarp for this kind of exercise, and they just set the chicken down in the middle of the tarp, and they kind of have to not really fight, but it's kind of like, you know how like wild dogs will kind of like snap and bite for the best chunks of food available. Very similar to that. So yeah, they'll do that with their friend on a regular basis. And apparently it's quite fulfilling. I don't know, I've never, if I may appear pretentious for a moment, I've never been a rotisserie chicken guy myself. I've never seen the particular appeal of that sort of method of consumption. Or rather, no, I can get rotisserie chicken, not like the whole thing though. I don't know. Chicken's just not one of my favorite meats. You know, I'm not a real chicken eater like that. You know, if that like old riddle, you know how there's like that riddle about like you have to transport a chicken, a bag of grain, and a fox across a ravine, and you need to do it in the fewest strips possible. How do you do it? And if you leave the chicken with the grain, the chicken will eat the grain. If you leave the fox with the fox will eat the chicken. But if you leave the fox with the grain, nothing will happen. If you leave the chicken alone, nothing will happen. If you leave the fox alone, nothing will happen. And so it's kind of like that. If I was in that situation, you could leave that chicken with me no matter what. It would be untouched. The grain and the fox, on the other hand, I cannot vouch for their safety. Seriously though, it is bugging me so hard, the construction of this burger. Like, it's hard to describe it. It's almost like a like those uncrustable thingies. I don't remember having them very much myself, but hang on, uncrustable. Maybe they just weren't popular in Ecuador. Yeah, check this out. It reminds me a little bit of one of these bad boys. I don't know. Am I tripping, or could you not just like make these out of normal bread and, a press and some determination? I don't. I see the appeal of them. I see the benefit of having these over over conventional kind of sandwich delicacies. They're lower risk of the contents of it spilling out. Very neat, self-contained. It's like a rice ball, but for sandwich, which I respect the concept of. I feel like the lines are a little too thick. Oh yeah, that's at like 28. We need to go to maybe 17. Let's adjust line width. Or actually, no, we could probably just grab these and then just manually bring them down to like 17. Yeah, that is much, much neater. I don't know, I kind of like working with thick lines, though. Also, it is bugging me. The other part of this that's bothering me is just the sheer size of the burger itself. Right? Like, this is the size of her head, basically. Which seems unwieldy for something you eat. I mean, it's light work for a fellow like me, but I don't know. Is Farron really an eater like that? I'm not familiar with her game. Alright. You know what, though? I would believe it, actually. I would believe that Farron could put this whole thing away. I don't know. There are people who, like, and more or less right off the bat that they always order more than they can finish at a table. I've known some people like that. They just don't have particularly big appetites. That's not like a moral failing or anything. Although it does lead to some strategic needs, right? When you're dining out. I mean, I consider it a personal failing when I can't finish a plate of food at a restaurant, but that's more of a warrior's pride kind of thing, rather than any value judgment. I forgot what. Hang on. I like to pull up these reference picture whenever I can when I do sort of this sort of thing. I don't know. I'm the kind of person that always gets terrified when it's like up to way too much interpretation. It's like it's nice to have that freedom, but it's not my favorite thing in the world to have it. Well, I guess a better way to put it is that I work better with constraints rather than having free reign over everything. I don't know, that's probably not true of everyone, but it's true for me. I could do something else that's also really funny, but I'll hold back on revealing what that scheme is until a later date. I'm not doing this on the right layer, am I? Nope. Alright, we run that back. So I think for propriety's sake, I'm going to have to shift around the proportions of the face here. Because Farron has a very childlike face. All of her features are very closely pressed together. Whereas V is supposed to look like, you know, your older sister, basically. Also, it is a little bit strange because Farron seems to be staring at the camera. I'm gonna make it so that V's like just locked in on the food. There is this one animation. I haven't seen Bochi the Rock, for the record, but I do know this one like 6-frame animation of like one of the characters just shoveling fried rice or like an egg or like a rice omelet into her mouth. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how it is. She's just like me for real. I might just duplicate this one and just shift that around. Is it just me or did we just listen to this one? Oh, look at that. I have it in the playlist. Why do I have so many of these in the playlist? Hang on, my entire playlist is duplicated. How? I'm not gonna worry about that. It's too late in the day. It's like 5 o'clock on a Sunday. We don't need to be worrying about all that. Midstream of all places. Quite unnecessary, frankly. It's been a hot minute since I've drawn, like, eyelashes. You know what I'm gonna do, actually? I'm gonna save the eyes for last, and I'm just gonna focus on everything else. Taking away the expression. I don't know, it just feels like Farron looks a little bit freaked in this one. I don't know why. But yeah, let's focus on like the sleeves and all the other stuff first. Okay, I'm gonna just loosen up this over here. There we go. Actually, we should probably angle this one a little bit lower. Because again, Farron's got like very stubby limbs. Actually, maybe we should increase the size of the arms and the hands in general. Making fan art for somebody you know personally, right, is always like a very interesting process because whenever you do it, You do want to, like, I don't know, like, it's quite a different experience from normally making fan art, because if you normally make fan art, especially for bigger VTubers, you know that there's a very good chance they probably won't land eyes on it. You know, their fans will. Their fans will, for sure. But, you know, the person personally probably won't be looking at it unless you get really lucky or it really pops off for whatever reason, right? But if it's for someone you know, it's definitely got that feeling of you want it to be perfect, you want it to be very accurate to what the person likes and how the person sees themselves. I wouldn't exactly call it pressure. It's more like your own expectations, and your own desire for perfection is amplified. But I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. If anything, having those kinds of nerves, I guess, about the outcome of the piece just show that you really care about how it'll come out. Of course, they are a bother to deal with, all the same. Come on, bud. There you go. Actually, I might raise this up just a tiny bit, because it does generally hang above her ear. It's also why reference pictures like this are so appreciated. You know, even if you don't have to stay fully on model, it's still useful to just have a reference. Because presumably, if the person published it, they have to be okay with that kind of way to be presented. So I don't know, that alleviates a lot of that anxiety, I guess. Okay, there we go. Okay, then over here. Let's round out this hand a little bit more. Let's raise this one on the left a little bit higher. I think I've lost a little bit of my golden path, because I feel like nowadays... I remember, I think it was for either... Actually, it's been a couple of times where I've done like the more kind of... shall we say detailed anime eyelashes, where it's like, you know, you actually need to fill it in manually during the coloring process instead of just making it a solid black shape during the line art. And I think that's thrown off my own kind of compass. You know, it's demagnetized that a little bit. Because normally I don't draw eyelashes like that. I only do it for, like, to make the picture a little bit more sparkly, you know? Let's actually increase the size of the forehead here. Also gonna give her eyes a more, like, you know, relaxed look. What might help as well is to just make this eyelash just a tiny bit shorter. God, it really is just like a sphere that she's holding, isn't it? Me when I'm enjoying my meager meal of a single two-dimensional object. Here's what we're gonna do. Same idea of... Hang on. I'm gonna give this one the 2-byte special. Gonna give this one the 2-byte special. We might need to get, like, bullet forensics in here for how this would have played out. If I had nickels for every time I'd drawn one of my friends eating a burger, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. Huh, come to think of it, for burgers, what order of operations is it generally? Hang on. How to stack burger. Okay, so it's looking like it's patty near the bottom, a lot of the vegetables up at the top, maybe some cheese below the patty, but I'm seeing some variations here. Hang on. Where's my, here we go. If you would observe the charts, so Dairy Queen, right? Patty, cheese in between, then the load of vegetables. But in this one, which is from Taylor's Kitchen, we go vegetable patty, more vegetable. How about this one? Okay, this one is in Cyrillic. I don't even want to fathom. It's probably just like burger diagram or something like that. How about this one? Hamburger sliders, vegetable patty. Okay, patty vegetable. Patty vegetable. I need to, like, open up an Excel or something just to keep proper track of everything. But predominantly, it does appear that it goes patty at the bottom, vegetable up at the top. So let's go with that in mind. Let's approach the situation that way. I don't know, there's probably a degree of influence that the order of operations, so to speak, has on the resulting flavor of the burger. Gonna have a little bit of onion there. Have the patty right here. And gotta have the cheese in there somewhere. And the bottom bun. Now there's a burger cross section you could be proud of. God. There's like this meme, right? In Japanese animation particularly. There was like this very infamous scene of a TV airing of an anime where a character is supposed to be like chopping a cabbage in half. But the problem is that the animation was very limited and the cabbage was literally just, why is this? How did you see how many of those I had to delete? What was that? What was it about? Anyway. There, oh right, the animation thing. Okay, so there we go. So because of the limited animation, it basically, the cabbage being chopped in half basically looked like a green sphere being bisected. And so many people made fun of it. First of all, it got corrected in like the Blu-ray release, I believe. But then like everybody, it became like a joke where, you know, if a character was chopping vegetables, they would have the infamous green orb cabbage be on the chopping block as well. Christ, this is a really big burger though. I would not be upset at all if I was served a burger of this magnitude. Couldn't be me, not a real eater like me. But yeah, God, I can't wait to execute on that joke I was talking about earlier. It's not a particularly clever one. I just want to include it. Okay, then over here. There we go. V now has the same huge fuck-off burger that Frieren does. That's the size of her head. I'll add the sesame seeds at some other point. Need to just clean up the line art a little bit. Okay. Okay, so with the stencil, it looks like the V on this side, and there we go. Okay, and then the 1. Okay, so that's gonna go... The one thing I will be, like, consistently off-model about, and this can stay between you and me, assuming V doesn't ever watch this VOD, is that I do use the non-standard like hair color. Like they have a palette for V up here, right? And the hair color for that one is I just darken it a little bit. I make it just a tiny bit darker. I don't know, it just feels more natural this way. Well, I say natural as if like that's her normal hair color, but I don't know. Do we have like lore on that? Do we know if like canonically V dyes her hair? You know, VTuber V, not like real life V. God, peak media occurs when, you know how like in anime, right? Or broadly speaking in Japan, it's very normal for people with dyed hair to be depicted, especially like blonde dyed hair, right? Are depicted as delinquents and such. I think it would be really funny if that same prejudice stuck to universes where people canonically can just be born with like wildly different hair colors. Like in a world where people can like have blue or pink hair naturally occurring, they still have like this idea of like, oh, people with blonde hair are friggin' delinquents. What the fuck? I don't know. It's a little funny to me just to imagine. Because like, what did they do in that timeline? What did they do to earn that sort of scorn from their peers? Just a profoundly funny kind of coincidence where it just happens that people with yellow hair are mostly dickheads in this universe by sheer happenstance, by sheer freak occurrence. People people who dye their hair become delinquents. Hmm. Right. Okay. What are like the burger colors, generally speaking? We gotta have like a kind of orangish yellow for the brioche bun. Could be a little bit more orange leaning than that. There we go. And kind of like a lighter yellow for the inside of the bun. Border. Hey Ryan, how you doing? Good work on the tournament today. You played your ass off in there. Okay, the kind of green. Sure fucking did. That's right, you know it. Yeah, good work out there. Okay. Gotta erase this part here. I need to make at least a couple of these tomato slices. You have to get an even. I don't know. Would you rather have way too many onions or way too many tomatoes on your burger? I feel like neither of them are favorable, but me, I'd go for the onions over the tomatoes. I don't know. The thing about hamburgers is that it's kind of tough to mess them up significantly, but it is possible. You know, I'm not gonna say that every burger is perfect. Like, you can mess up your burgers, but it's harder. Gonna turn a couple of these into tomatoes. Yeah, the meat here needs to be like more brown. This is like leaning too much towards purple. It's looking a little anemic. There we go, and then at the bottom brioche bun. Actually, no, let's make this bread. Me, when I'm at the yeast factory and I need to decide the production order for today. Yeast factories are like definitely a thing, right? There's no way that people haven't tried to like make a factory purely for the production of yeast. Something about her skin tone is bothering me a little bit. It looks a little bit too... I don't know, it's like dehydrated? I don't know how else to describe it. There we go, that looks a little more calm. I'm going to remove this line here and just let the collar just dip all the way down. I think it looks better that way. One of the things that I've learned over the years is that where possible, you need to like be as simple with your shapes and everything as you can, because the eye gets very easily lost in detail, right? So you need to conserve that detail as much as possible wherever you can, because otherwise people's eyes are just going to get lost in that detail. That's why, for example, instead of like having the shadow be like this, right, where it's like super detailed, it needs to like fall over the eye, it needs to like do that. Just having one that's like this, right? Just like two lines like that, and then just fill in the gaps is much more effective in depicting what we want to show. Not to mention, we don't know for sure it wouldn't work. It would work like that. That's the other thing. Come to think of it, the inside of the bun is looking a little bit anemic as well. Let's boost some parts of it. Maybe not to that extent, or maybe we make it lighter. Yeah, that looks much better. That looks now that's like what a commercial burger would look like. Not in terms of like a burger that you could buy commercially. I mean like a burger that would be shown in a television commercial. God, is it gonna... Sometimes I'm like worried that we'll lose the reference for like what a TV commercial looks like. It's not going to happen, right? Like there's too much history in the medium of that to kind of lose track of what that looks like. But at the same time, it's like... Part of me is concerned that like at some point they'll be like, you know, I'm gonna be talking to like a bunch of kids in my neighborhood, and I'll be like, yeah, and you know, we had to like wait for TV commercials to play, and they'd be like, what's a TV commercial? Is that kind of like the pre-roll ads? And I will have to, you know, kind of like grit my teeth and be like, it's exactly like that, and you know, try to not feel old. I don't know. I'm turning 25 this year. I still feel like I'm like a decently young guy, but sources suggest otherwise. I'm like starting to like stop being in the young guy. You know, I'm not gonna be able to do the bit from Build anymore, where they're like, we're not old guys, we're like young guys. I'm gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be able to opt into that bit no more. God. The other day, right, I was thinking about about like people who still made Banjo-Kazooie references in 2024. And more power to them, naturally, but at the same time, it's like, has the frame of reference from Banjo-Kazooie passed to some extent? Because I feel like like the only like Nintendo 64 games that are still like regularly talked about, in my perspective, are like Mario 64, because like everybody's modded the hell out of Mario 64. And I don't know, friggin' what was the other one? I don't know, some other Nintendo 64 game. Or, right, Ocarina of Time, because like, people do like Ocarina of Time randomizers. And like the thing is, right, I feel like the reason that I know about those games at all is because it's not that I grew up with them, it's that I grew up watching gamer YouTubers who would never shut the fuck up about Ocarina of Time or Banjo-Kazooie or any of those other things. And the thing is that though the age range of those gaming YouTubers is starting to like shift. So we're no longer getting like gaming YouTubers who were born in like the 80s and thus were like able to in the correct age range for the Nintendo 64 era. Now we have like people who were born kind of like in the late 90s who probably grew up with like Mario Sunshine or some shit. The people closer to my generation. And I don't know. I feel like I hear Banjo-Kazooie being talked about less and less. And again, this is no big loss to me personally. I never gave a fuck about that that game, frankly speaking. That's a bit too dark in terms of shadow. But yeah, it just feels weird to see. And the thing is, too, that like the strangest thing is that you still see games that are influenced by that, right? You still see games that are influenced by Banjo-Kazooie coming out. Because again, the people in the age range to have enjoyed those games have graduated from being, gaming YouTubers to actually being game devs. That's not a particularly popular timeline, but I am saying that like the people who were born in the era to appreciate those games are now of the age to be in like industry leaders in that kind of game development. Because we all remember Ukulele. We all remember that it was like a Kickstarter funded game that is 100% supposed to be riffing on Banjo-Kazooie. Like right down to the title structure and everything. We've all seen Banjo-Kazooie alike in Kickstarter in our time. But yeah, it's just weird to see. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like from now on. I don't know what I feel like I'm going to lose a point of reference because like, maybe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I'm still going to be yapping about like, I don't know, friggin' Chainsaw Man or some shit. And there's going to be like a very popular Kickstarter game and I'm like, "Oh wow, this looks very interesting. Let's play it on stream." And I'll load it up and it's going to be like a full-fledged version of Dress to Impress that somebody funded on Kickstarter. And I'll just have zero frame of reference for what any of this is supposed to be about. Well, maybe that wouldn't be so bad. I've lived this long without understanding of the mechanics of Dress to Impress. I'm sure I'll be fine if I go on for just a little bit longer that way. I need to like do something about the contrast in this picture. It's bothering me a little bit. Maybe I can apply a gradient effect on it eventually. And we can go one shade darker on like where the burger shade is going to fall. Okay, bump this here, bump this here. Let's improve the way this shadow falls a little bit here. It's a little freaky as it is. I'm also going to do something with the face. I'm going to add a gradient over all of it. No, that looks really weird. I don't... Why does that look so weird? Hang on. Maybe we're going about this the wrong way. That looks a little bit more natural. Let's do something similar for the hair. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, add some shadows here. Okay, and we'll add a couple of stripes here for the pattern on the jacket. It's hard to call it a pattern. They're more like stripes. I don't know what I don't know what you would call these for proper fashion terminology. Accents? Probably accents. Accents feels like the right word to use here. Okay, then over here. No, that looks weird. Maybe the right answer in this case is to just erase the little line here. Although that does look very strange by itself as well. But it looks less strange all put together, so I'm not gonna let it bother me. What I could also do is to add the layer here on top, and then just wherever I need. Hang on. Got an idea for how to handle this. Okay, and then wherever the other parts would fall, the like jacket highlights, we would use the soft erase and minimum hardness, just a little bit of a light tap to all the places where it would affect. That seems to have worked pretty well. Alright. Time for my master stroke. Culver's interior. There we fucking go. Is there one that is, like, free to modify, share, and use commercially? Very limited results. Well, it's a good thing we're not using this commercially. Yeah, no, we're not, like... We're not getting what we want out of those other results. Oh yeah, we also need to set our location to, like, huge. All sizes. Let's do, like, wallpaper size. Okay, this is already kind of like the wallpaper size one that they have. Yeah, let's go with the one that we were going with originally, then. We're going to be blurring it out to begin with, so it's not like it's not particularly going to be problematic. With its accuracy. Alright, that seasoned work. Alright, let's just save that one to the art folder. And get it... God, we spent like an hour on this. But now we can get into the meat of today's appointment, which is the making of a new track. Okay, so let's pause the BGM. There we go. Turn on desktop audio so we can hear what's going on. And let's open up... Here. This is the file that we did from last time. I duplicated it so we would have a... There we go. I don't know if that's maybe a little too quiet. I think that's probably a little quiet. But yeah, that's kind of where we were at last time. Right. Okay, so let's play around a little bit with the instruments that we're allowed to use. So first of all, let's mute everything except the first thing, which is I think the drum. Or actually, hang on. Let's let me take a look at my music making notes. Okay, first create a 1/4 beat, then a 1/8 beat, then 1/16, then a half note, and then a 1 note, and then a 1 note. All right, that's easy to understand. I can understand that. Let's do the 1/4 note then. Right, I think we need to do the not the input FX. Okay, here we go. That opened that. Why isn't it coming through at all? That's like not making anything. Because it's muted, that's probably why. Yeah, that's coming through. That sounds like some genuine... What do you call it? Like, I don't know, Fred Flintstone's kind of beat? It's not coming through here. Did I forget to hook this up to the virtual MIDI keyboard? No, that should be fine. Is it that it's too... Oh, wait, hang on. I think I see what I did wrong here. Yeah, you see how... hang on. How do I... Hang on. Add a new one. What is this? Window capture? Reaper 3. Never mind. It's closer to the top. Oh yeah, there it is. Hang on. I've been meaning to get around to cleaning up my sources a little bit. The problem is that it doesn't seem to... It can't seem to figure out what I wanted to capture. Hang on, can I maybe use the game capture to do that? I don't know, the game capture is also a little bit iffy. Hang on, Reaper, nope. Okay, there's just no way to show that. But yeah, basically the reason it's not letting me play it on the MIDI keyboard that I have set up is that I'm not low enough. Okay, but that's fine. We're not looking for that right now. So let's try out the choir, actually. What's this one about? Doesn't seem to be coming through very well for me. Hey, my volume's off? Or maybe we just need to keep it a little bit more... Warp Souls, what does that one sound like? Okay, that one's actually doing something, that's good. Okay, so if we increase the volume on this one substantially... How can we turn this into a percussion, is my question. Ooh, that's really shrill. Sustain Oz. Oh, now we're getting into some real Lisa the Painful type beats. How about the ooze? Interesting. What about the uzz? Flintstones. Can we do the Flintstones opening? we're not actually doing that. There was like a friggin'... Was it Silver Gunner? Silver Gunner was the one who kept doing it, who kept sneaking the Flintstones opening music to it? What's the choir sound like? Sing for me, my angel of music. Okay, Warp Thrasher. I was interested in what this one sounded like. Okay, so they're very sustained synth notes. I'm definitely gonna need to boost their... That one sounds kind of nice, though. I like that one. Okay, let's do a couple of other things. So we can play around with the reverb of them a little bit. So let's see what happens if we do like 100% reverb. Okay. Okay, so we have some options here, right? Release, reverb, attack, and delay. Let's play around with delay, because I can kind of understand what the other ones do. I don't know what the delay does. So let's boost the delay to maximum. Okay, and what if we minimize it? Hang on. Okay. Maximize delay, then minimize delay. Sounds exactly the same. Alright, cool. What about attack? What does attack do? So minimize attack? And then maximize attack. Wait, you can barely hear it. Like, listen real close. It's just gradually getting louder. Okay, so attack just seems to be kind of like the build-up to it, which is interesting. We actually want that on the minimum, if possible, since this is like supposed to be like a percussion. Then release. Alright, for release and attack, I kind of understood what they did, because those are also terms that are used in audio filters, normally, especially for noise gates and such. So attack is how much, whenever like it passes a threshold, it dips, and release is how quickly it gets to back to normal. So I'm kind of interested in what release is going to sound like. So let's do 0 release. Hang on. Well, that's cracking me up. What about like what about maximize release? What's that sound like? And you see that is retained for a very long time indeed. Like, it's still going. It's still going. And oh. Okay. So what if we increase the reverb a little bit? We can probably do the release a little bit, just like... I don't know about this one. What if we maximize the reverb? What's this one? You can barely hear that, can't you? What's this one? That's also that's non-existent, actually. Interesting. Can we go back to the choir? What can we do for that? Whoa, this one went on to another level all of a sudden. Okay, interesting. What do we have in terms of cassette synth? There's this one called Uncanny Valley, which I want to play around with. Let's see what that one sounds like. Okay. This one's crazy. This sounds like the frickin' tripods are descending upon us. This one's a little aggressive. What can we do? What can we do to make that one a little less? Okay, we need to do what makes it sound not like that, ideally. Okay, yeah. Okay. I've got an idea for how to do this. In the meantime, let me pull up the Wikibooks page for the different chord patterns. How do I do this again? There we go. Hey, okay, this looks familiar. First, we need to bring this all the way back. There was like a thing we could do to item properties, loop item source. No. Yeah, okay, this is what we wanted. Okay, so if we open this up, we need to bring that a little bit further. We need to make that 4 bars, I think. Is that about right? Yeah, okay. Okay. I just wish there was a way to make this sound a little less aggro. First of all, I mean, one way we could do that is probably by just lowering the volume of it. So maybe we can do that. Start with that. Yeah, we can always bring up the volume, but, you know, because I'm also talking at the same time, this is just a little bit easier to handle. We could also try to go back to the... Hang on, to the reverb and maybe... Oh, we can increase the noise. The noise is currently at 0. Oh god, that sounds really bad. Okay, I like noise at 0. What if we reduce the reverb? God, some of these sound really weirdly wet, if that makes sense. What if we maximize the reverb? Plug your ears just in case. That just seems to make it louder. I don't particularly care either way. What's this? Tune and pan. Oh god, I have no idea what I just said. Let's bring those back to normal. What about pan? What does pan do? Oh, that literally just makes it play from different earbuds. That's really weird. Don't do that. I could see situations where that would be useful. I remember there was like this song from, I think, one of the Homestuck OSTs. I think it was like a Solix's theme, where it played on one ear and then the other. That was a pretty cool effect. And there's probably a lot more like normal examples I could bring up to illustrate that effect, but it's the first one that I think of. Okay, let's think. Well, there's not actually much to think about. If we just go in there and... Actually, let's just take a listen at a couple of other ones before we, you know, marry ourselves to the idea of this one. This one's a little weak. A lot of these are like very weak compared to... Okay, this one's got it a little more. A little bit more gumption. A lot of these just are not particularly loud. So yeah, we're going with cassette synth spool stabs. What is LPF? Okay, interesting. So that also seems to... That's also like the rawness of the audio, if that makes sense. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay, let's go into this thing. Okay, we need to figure out how to make these sound less like a reverb-y. That sounds really bad, I hate that. That's probably about as good as we're gonna get. The problem is I have no idea what I want this to sound like either, so it's like... What are we doing? Fuck it, let's start with C6. Grid 1/4. Okay, let's do... What chords do we have on hand? How about a 6th? Why not a 6th? Okay, so starting on C6, that's gonna go 1... Okay, that's C6. C sharp, D6, E. E. Okay, 1, 3, optional 5, and then 6. Let's add the 5. Okay, so we go E, F, G. It would be G, right? Yeah, that sounds about right. Then we go with the 6th. Throw stuff on the wall and see what sticks. I think it would work a little better if we move this one down and use the 5 again here. Let's do A sharp, and then... How's this? Okay, other way around, actually. Huh. Alright. Also, I think I just realized something. Hang on, let me pop this out, and then... There we go. That's a full measure. We were not working with a full measure previously. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so... It needs another gap. I don't know. I hope this sound isn't too unpleasant for all of you. I am having a hard time dealing with it myself. But I feel like there's something here. Nope. That sounds a little better. Okay. Hang on. Item settings. Loop item source. Okay, we did the 1/4 one. Now we do the 1/8 notes. We don't have 1/8 notes, so let's make this one 1/8. Okay. Let's keep trying to use ones that we haven't used before. So what about Or actually, hang on. We might be able to use some of the choir ones from earlier. If we decrease the release, but increase the reverb. And if we do the proper choir. Wait, 1/8 is faster than 1/4, isn't it? We might want to save the choir for something else then. Alright, what else can we do then? Don't know about you, but I've had about enough of cassette synths. What do you have in terms of hyperpop synths? I remember we had like a bunch of different ones from that one from the last time we tried these. Scary. Alright. What else you got? Jeez! Relax! Nope. What about Caliban? I'm kind of digging that actually. I like how trumpet-like it sounds. Well, we'll need to decrease the attack though by a lot. Why do some of these have like foghorn type blast attacks, and some of them are just like normal? We really gotta do something about the attack on some of these. Decrease the release as well. Why to all of this? It's really messy. Okay, we need to get rid of 1/8. Again, I feel like this isn't gonna work for like the speed of 1/8 though. What's this one? Engine room. We should have used this as percussives, what the hell? Alright. I'm gonna take away this one. Okay, notes. Okay, so grid 1/8. Notes 1/8. Wait, what? I need to review something real quick. Okay, that's like that. I have no idea how I messed up the perspective on this, but I guess... Okay, the grid is at 1/4. We need to have it at 1/8. Okay. I see. I'm not gonna bother naming the... Okay, I misspelled percussion, but we know what that's supposed to be. How's this sound together? Really bad, huh? Wow. I'm not cut out for this music shit, man, I tell you. Every day is a struggle. But we try anyway. Yeah, I think the engine is definitely... Because this one has like a very... Like, the thing is, right? I'm going to stick with the one that I made for the synth. But it has a very dream-like kind of quality, right? Nope. The only issue with this one is that it doesn't particularly loop well. That feels like it'll loop a little better. Velocity... Foot pedal MSB. What's that about? That doesn't seem to be affecting it in any way. What about expression MSB? Or actually, foot pedal, we need to get rid of those. Oh god, no, don't do that. Select all events in lane, there we go. Wait, so this is the velocity lane, huh? What happens if we, like... That doesn't seem to affect much, surprisingly. What is sisex? Oh god, it's bringing up, like, submenus. We're not ready for sisex. Notation events, bank program, channel pressure, pitch? Channel pressure. Select all events in lane. We can get rid of those. I don't see those being particularly helpful. What about breath? That also doesn't seem to affect anything. You know, it might be time to revisit some things like the equalizers. Actually, this would be the first time we visited them. But yeah, let's go into the re-EQ. Preset, band kick, mud free. What does that do? Nope. Electro drum smooth. Okay, that's doing a lot to kind of mitigate that harshness. What about bass low pass? Oh, that's so weird. It's like underwater. What other we got? Move to the back. Interesting. I really gotta put more time into this, honestly. I need to take this off stream. You know what we could do, actually? Let's try this. So let's save the progress on this one. I'd like to save that, but I would also like to... Hang on. Maybe we can try a second take, because one thing that I have been considering is, like, what if we try to make it based on the picture that we draw for that day? Right? So taking V at Culver's as the inspiration. Let's take this back to the lab, right? So definitely we'll want to use some drums. Really loud. Okay, let's bring that down a little bit. That's 2 down. That's 2 down. Okay, 1/4. Do we just have a cymbal on every quarter beat? Does that work? Is that something that we're allowed to do? That sounds... That's a little anxiety-inducing, actually. Can we, like, increase the length of that? No. Nope. Come on. Work with me here. That's exactly what I wanted to sound like. Perfect. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, drum. Okay, the next up, let's do some kind of bass. So for this one again, let's just use a normal bass guitar. No need to go nuts with it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so for the bass, let's do... And it'll be easier to do this with the drum playing as well. Around here. Let's start on the third beat. How about... Okay, 7th chord can be extended. Very uncommon to extend a major chord with an 11th. That's because there would be an interval of a minor 9th. If an 11th is played, it is usually altered. Alterations. Bass note of a chord is the lowest note of the chord. Blah, blah, blah. Polychords, superimposed chords. They are more common in some kinds of music like jazz than others. Okay, that kind of sounds like more what we want for this one. So let's do... What about... G major? Why not? Or G minor, I think that is. Starting with C2. Okay, so that's G major, so that's... Okay. If we're calling this 5, then we need a flat 7th. So that's gonna go up like this. So C sharp, 6th, 7th. Okay, then a 2. So that's gonna go all the way back down to A, that's 4th, G, 3rd, F, 2. And then break, and then 1, B5. What the hell's a B? They got insects in here? Flying insects? Oh, that's probably the bass note, the lowest one in the chord. Okay. Hmm. F. Guess we go F, E1. Then 5. That doesn't sound too bad, actually. And then we repeat this one again. Dun 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 dun. Alright, getting a little bit unconventional with it, but that's fine. Since when have we done things conventionally anyway? It's kind of a waste at this point to limit ourselves like that. Grab it. Grab it, there we go. Come on, bud. Okay. Now see, now we're getting somewhere. Let's just extend this for a few bars more. Ditto this one. Maybe a couple more repetitions. Come on, bud. How do I change my cursor to just select stuff? Is that possible? Are we allowed to do that? Nope. Yes! Alright, you drag and click with the right-hand mouse button. This is tremendous. Alright. Okay, now let's figure out what to add for the... What was it? Like, what was the next one? 1/16th? 1/16th. What do we got? What else can we add? My instincts say guitar. They had a hi-hat in the tutorial. That might not be such a bad idea. Nope. Not enough impact. It's not always about the impact. Let's think here. Because what the hi-hat did is that it added like an extra kind of... What the hell are these ambient guitar ones, for example? The Trussart pencil drop. Alright, sure, why not? Okay, these are like guitar loops. This one's a little bit more interesting because it's like almost like an electric guitar. Very soft. I can barely hear that one. They're all so quiet. I wonder why. Maybe they're scared of me. Oh no, it's because I've got the mixing to be way low. In any case, I don't think ambient guitars is what we're looking for. What about textural pads? What are those about? If we lower the attack on some of these... Really don't fit the vibe. Maybe we add a second bass guitar? That's a thing we can do, right? Let's see. Okay. Recall what the notes were for this bass line that we had. So that's C, D. Okay, so maybe a C sharp to complement that would be, or you know, C major is a name for the chord. So yeah, maybe just. Oh yeah, can't forget to set it to its proper length. Yeah, 1/16. Okay, so that's D. D major, sure, why not? Who cares anymore? It's not like anybody's gonna call cops on us for not adhering to music theory. Alright, so that's 2, 3... And then 4 and 5. It needs a little bit more bite than that, I fear. I also need to think about its positioning a little bit more. Maybe a little higher? No, none of this does not feel right. This is not the path. What else do we have, though? Should we try for the third time to see if we can squeeze the choir in there? I'm not gonna lie, I like that section that's broken up with just the bass guitar. If I increase this... You know what? I'm kind of hankering for some guitar. Let's see what we can do with the guitar. In the meantime... let's grab these two. Is this how we normally do it? No, it isn't. 2, 3... Yeah, that's about right. This sounds a little too much like... hang on. This is the electric guitar, right? Yeah. What else we got in this? 80s pad. Why is this even with the guitars? Is my question. None of these have the right kind of mouthfeel that I kind of want. This one is closest to what I want. Okay, so we're starting all the way over here. So what'll be a good... So we try to go with the... Okay, let's try and do the C major. Okay, so that's C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Screw it, let's make this 1/8. We're not gonna survive if we try to do 1/16 guitar. D, E. Not bad. Alright, alright, I'm kinda liking that. But I feel like we can do more with it. You know what I mean? We should try to loop that section, though, for a little bit. Oops. Let's try that again. Okay, what if after that we escalated it with a... spins the wheel inside my head for like 3 or 4 rotations. Lydian. Why not? Like 1 step higher. That's gonna go with C. We're getting really high. We're getting... Hang on, that's not gonna work because the notes are so high that we literally can't reach them. So we're starting on A. Okay, so 1... Nope. One, 3. Okay, so this is A. We're starting on G4. Okay, we need to go to B4. Then... It says to go sharp 11th. I don't know if that's a good idea, but whatever. Okay, C... Okay, that's 6. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, sharp. Oh, that's an escalation. That's quite the escalation. Yeah, no, that's not... We don't need all that. We don't need to do all that. Okay, so this is G... B, that's correct. Then we need... D. And then... What was I even going for again? Let's just do a 7th. F. Espérate, espérate, espérate. Is this gonna sound alright? Fuck it, new triad. Alright, so let's just start from the base F and go. Okay, so that's 2, 3, 5. Nope. So, we've lost the path. We've lost the path. Could we shift these one higher? Or actually two. Nope. Two lower. Oops. Hang on, that's not supposed to be there. How do I get that away? That's worse. I think that's about as far as we're gonna get for tonight. I'm not sure if we can... Actually, no. No, I think there is... We can do one more thing. Let's try doing one more thing for this. And that is like the half note. Okay, downloaded only. Did we have something for foghorn that we wanted to try? Aliens talking at me, not interested. Tuneless crags. These do not sound like foghorns, if I may be so bold as to impose my own kind of prejudices. What do I know about fog or horns? This one's called Sound the Alarm. It doesn't sound like an alarm at all. From guttural low-end brass tones to otherworldly echoes created by caverns of rock, even a mechanical kit created from the sounds of whirring machinery, Lab's foghorn blows ordinary instruments out of the water. But is it actually a foghorn? Inconclusive evidence. One more try for the choir. I think we can... Hang on, I think we can try one more for the choir. Grid, okay, so notes, grid 1/2. Or actually, let's make this one whole note. Sounds a little creepy to have a dude just like choir guttural chanting in the middle of a burger restaurant, but you know, we didn't get this far by being conventional. Well, to be fair, we haven't gotten very far at all. But that's beside the point. We're so cooked. Okay. Okay, I think... Hang on. Let's try a slightly different approach. Is it appropriate to have warped laments inside the burger restaurant? You know, shoutouts to Micah. The Micah from the choir in question. He can sustain that for like 5 solid seconds, and that's a steady note there. Okay, here's where I'm at. Reverb boosted. Then we can do some other things with EQ to make it sound funny. Maybe, actually, hang on. Do we have the ooze? Okay, we need to raise these up a little bit. It's just kind of, hang on, it's very eerie when it's got the stacked amount. Hang on. First I gotta bring these down a little bit just so that it stays within the range of the VST. But also it's just really funny to have like the Gregorian chant in the burger restaurant. And here's a second idea that I have. Just bring it all lower. Maybe shorten this one a tiny bit. Okay, now let's open up the FX button here. Add... What does a tuner do? What can we do with a tuner? Preset. I don't understand any of these buttons, so let's take away the tuner. But you know what? I do know what to do. Actually, a bunch of these are foreign to me. Let's stick with the EQ for now. I understand at least on a basic level what that's supposed to do. Yeah, okay, let's leave it at that for today. Alright, good work, everyone. I really appreciate everybody who came by. I gotta grind on this off-screen. I really have to find some way to improve off-screen. Well, there's no short path to power. We just have to be patient with our own progress. In any case, as always, I appreciate everybody who came by. I'll be putting up a schedule for next week sometime after stream, so please look forward to that. In the meantime, take care, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Later. Bye.